Turn your life around for the final bell. It's now or never, you have to change well. It's now or never, you must change well. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Change Well podcast. Now today the podcast is all about Christmas. Christmas, the community around it, the memories around it, the civility around it, and how Christmas can make you better on that day and every day after. So without further ado, let's talk about Christmas, and especially about Christmas in my hometown of Crosswicks. Christmas is meant for community. Each year, the light that comes into the world brings us all together. This joy is to be shared among friends, family, and neighbors. I remember sharing this joy and love in my hometown of Crosswicks, New Jersey. We have a picture in the blog that's attached to the show notes that will show you what Crosswicks looks like. I never tired of thinking of Christmas in my hometown, and I know some of my good friends are thinking about it also. The snow glistens in the trees. The 100-plus-year-old Christmas tree bursts into light at the Christmas lighting. Neighbors sing Christmas carols around a bonfire and later warm themselves with apple cider. We have a candlelight service that's over 200 years old that meets at the Quaker Meeting House. But here are the four main reasons Christmas in Crosswicks is unique and makes the holiday shine brighter, both in our hearts and in our memories. First, Christmas is historic. Crosswicks was settled by Quaker immigrants in 1677, and Christmas celebrations and worship have been going on ever since. The Quaker Meeting House, which still stands, it actually holds a cannonball in it from the Revolutionary War, has celebrations and worship every Christmas. Now, it even held a ceremony during COVID, except it went virtual, keeping the tradition unbroken. One time period for Christmas in Crosswicks that is particularly noteworthy was in 1776. The colonial troops occupied Crosswicks under General Cadwalader in preparation for the historic Battle of Trenton, one of the turning points of the Revolutionary War. Now, each year, Crosswicks celebrates the lighting of the Christmas tree. This year was the 105th lighting of the Christmas tree. I guess back in the day we used to light it with candles. I have in a link in my blog to the ceremony that went on this year at the Christmas tree lighting. One last moment I want to talk about in Christmas that makes it historic. It's a little bit different than today. We had a mincemeat factory that made mincemeat pies. It was called Brick's Mincemeat. That was 3 houses down from my house. And it was there from 1879 until 1968. It was in operation. It was the largest producer of mincemeat pies in the U.S. It's still a historical building, but it keeps a special memory. I used to like mincemeat pies. I don't know if anybody even eats them anymore in the States. I know they're still big in Britain from the British baking show, but that was one of those special memories of history for me. The historic nature of Christmas in Crosswicks is not necessarily unique. A lot of you probably have great memories of your hometown and Christmas. And I encourage everyone to learn more about the history of your town related to Christmas. It'll bind you to the people that came before you and give you hope of what's coming before us. The second thing I really loved about Crosswicks was the sharing of faith and fellowship. Crosswicks had diversity when it came to faith and denominations, even when I grew up there back in the 60s and 70s. I've already mentioned the Quakers' meeting house in their city and that they founded the city. However, one of the things I remember most about the holiday season is learning about Hanukkah at my elementary school each year. I still remember learning about the dreidel and also about the Festival of Light itself, and Hanukkah and the menorah. We also had a United Methodist Church down the street, and some of my good friends attended it. I loved singing with their father, a retired Methodist singer. He was a great singer. We used to sing songs like Go Tell It on a Mountain that I loved, but we normally didn't sing those in our Catholic church. So I would sing that every Christmas, go down to their house and sing it with their father on the porch. Last, we had an historic African church, the Grace African Methodist Episcopal Church, down the street from me, 3 buildings down. It was formed in 1868, and I still remember the Christmas hymns of joy echoing forth from the church. We of Crosswicks had different faiths and denominations, but we shared our beliefs and joy openly during the season. And I wish we all around the world could do the same, sharing our festivals of light in peace. Third, one thing that made Crosswicks special, besides our religious diversity, was our civil community. Our family joined other fellow Crosswickians each year in the annual bonfire and Christmas tree lighting. They just had it in December 8th this year. We would all circle the tree at the community center and sing Christmas carols, both secular and religious. Voices rose together as one community as we sang of hope and love. Later, we drank hot apple cider, ate donuts, and shared fellowship about the encroaching holiday season. To close the day, what was really cool was Santa Claus used to come around in his fire engine and throw candy and toys at us. It's all a kid could want, and also any parent could want for their kid. Last, after we were finished all that candy, cider, and donuts, we needed an outlet to burn off the calories. Our rural town, imagine that in New Jersey. Yes, there are rural towns in New Jersey. They offered many options in the winter months. We never had Netflix. We would watch an occasional Christmas special, but normally we'd grab our skates and go out to the frog pond behind the library and skate. Or better yet, we sled down the hill behind the old firehouse. I remember leaving the house at 8 a.m. some days and not returning until 9 p.m. The only breaks I ever had was going down to Applegate's Market and drinking a grape soda and getting some candy. We even exercised when getting our Christmas tree. There was no Papa Noel's or Walmart for us. We went with our dad to cut down a tree. In closing, Christmas in Crosswicks was full of faith, fellowship, and fun. That is why some 40 years later, I still dream of Christmas in Crosswicks. Now, you may be dreaming of Christmas in your hometown. Christmas in recent years, especially during COVID, felt different from the past. But we may congregate again after COVID, but sometimes we still stand apart from our fellow citizens. And even when in proximity, we sometimes choose to rip each other apart with cutting remarks. That isn't meant for Christmas. For some, the light of Christmas may seem a bit dimmer in the recent years. And despite our best efforts to set our homes alight like the Griswolds, we cannot capture the brightness of a smile or the warmth of a human touch. Light does not come from a bulb on a tree. Instead, it comes from the hearts joined by the joy of Christmas. So in closing, say a prayer for someone in need. Donate to a charity. And most of all, we should honor the light that has come into the world with worship and kindness for all. And until next year, I have been dreaming of Christmas in Crosswicks. And let me close with a song, and you'll get this one. I'm dreaming of Christmas in Crosswicks, just like the ones I used to know, where people got together in all kinds of weather to watch the Christmas tree aglow. I'm dreaming of Christmas in Crosswicks and the bonfires in the night. May all your memories be bright. And when we cross the wicks with neighbors, we bring more light. So that is it for this episode of Change Well. And you might have said, how's this change? You're going back to the past. Well, if you look at the past compared to the last few years, maybe the way to change well is to pick up the notes of civility, community, and fellowship that we all had in, some of us of my age, in our childhood. And until next time, change well.